All right, everybody, welcome back to Another Word with Brenden, and today we are talking about a very cool guitar. This is one of my favorite offerings in the whole Martin line. This is the OOO-16M Street Rosewood, and there's some really cool features on this guitar. Tell us about it, Brenden.
All right, like you said, very cool guitar. Also very, very simple.
Yeah.
And this was designed specifically to utilize some VTS tops, and VTS is a code name for vintage tone system, but it's a torrefied top. I think people are familiar with that term generally now. But we had some tops, when they go through the process, sometimes the center, the sapwood, gets a little dark in the process. And there's an expectation that an authentic at a different price point is going to get the best looking tops. So
right.
People get a little funny about having some of that darkness on there. So we ended up with a pile of these tops, and they're beautiful, beautiful Adirondack tops. So we decided to make a series utilizing those.
Adirondack at that.
Yeah. Adirondack at that. So,
and that's really cool because you really have to get in, for the most part, in the whole lineup to a modern deluxe before you start really seeing anything that's torrefied from you guys, right?
Yes,
so to get into a thermally aged top, an Adirondack one at that, and in a 16 series, that's way awesome.
It's way awesome. It's this guitar maps for $19.99.
And so, a word on the 16 series. This is a made in USA. This is a Nazareth built guitar, solid tone woods, and the back and sides on this particular guitar are rosewood. So for $19.99, you are getting a USA made solid wood, rosewood back and side, Adirondack top, thermally aged guitar in a really cool finish.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
The other thing I'll mention about this is we don't talk a whole lot about sustainability, but everything we do kind of focuses on that. We have to, as somebody who's a utilizer of
Sure.
wood products, right?
Yeah.
So reusing these tops instead of putting them through the chipper, and the sides too. The sides and back are not necessarily matches the way you would see on a D28. The sides and backs on a D20 are very carefully picked. These may be a little mismatched, but you look at them, and you may not be able to see it in the camera, but there's a darker stain put on this 16 series to help that matching. So this is really utilizing some pieces of wood that otherwise would not be utilized.
And they're great. They're just great sounding guitars, and they weigh. The thing that I always notice about them is they weigh nothing. This particular guitar is less than 4 pounds. So I mean, you take the strings off, it practically floats away. And while we have this one out, let's talk about Adirondack versus Sitka spruce.
Mm-hmm.
Why would somebody want an Adirondack top over, say, a Sitka spruce or another variety?
Great question. It gets a little bit into, is something better, or is it just preference? But when you harken back to some of the models, the coveted models from Martin from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, those were all Adirondack tops.
Yeah.
So you're already in a species of wood that is very, very traditional. The Adirondack, to me, it's generally a little bit, and this is a generalization, generally a little bit more open. I hear a little bit more bass response, but I also hear some more clarity in some of the harmonics. And then when you take Adirondack and you torrefy it, now you're enhancing all of that. You're taking that to a different level. Sitka is great. Adirondack's great.
Both tops are great, and I think both are good tone woods. And Adirondack is sometimes looked at as a upgrade to Sitka, just because of the difference in price, which is that determined somewhat by availability.
That's a lot determined by availability.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very cool. But yes, I mean, in this particular OOO-16 Streetmaster Rosewood, a lot of awesomeness packed into one guitar for a pretty modest price. And you can find them here at Hubert Reese. Once again, I want to thank Brenden from Martin Guitar for sharing his prowess with us in the shop.
Thank you.